Edmond.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining On Air with Russell of Hotels live hospitality talk show. Today is Tuesday, October 4th, 2022. Hope all is well. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate you joining. I don't take it lightly that you guys actually, someone, the two people that are listening would join and say, hey, who's this guy? Let me listen to what the heck this guy is talking about. But no, I thank you. But hey, we're live on LinkedIn as well as YouTube. I'm doing this new restream thing. Hopefully, we don't have any glitches along the way. Let me knock on this. I don't know if that's wood or fake wood. I don't know what it is, but it's something that looks like wood. So I'm going to knock on it because I want to make sure everything goes well. So we're live on LinkedIn, YouTube, Restream, Ecamm Live, which is the platform I use. It's kind of like a Zoom kind of thing. It allows me to go to multiple platforms. I can do like up to 5, right? But I'm like, well, what 5 do I want to do? No, let me just do 2. Let me just do the 2 that are most important to me and the people that listen, and that's YouTube and LinkedIn. So there you go. And then the replay, I'll put that on Facebook as well as Twitter. And at the same time, I'm doing a podcast, right? So the podcast, of course, is not live because you recorded the audio portion and then you upload it to your podcast platform. So that's what I'll do. Okay. So look for that later. If you do listen to the podcast, I do appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining. And that would be probably give me like an hour after the show's over, and then it'll be uploaded because it does take me a minute to go through and listen to it. And sometimes I have to edit it, but live shows, you don't have to edit, for the most part. You just go with it, okay? And if there's some flaws in there, you just go with it. It's okay, right? It's not the end of the world, all right? Don't have to be, we're always searching for perfection, but it's okay if there's a little flaw in a podcast. It's okay. No one's gonna know, all right? As long as you're putting out some good content, that's all that matters. So, but anyway, thank you guys so much. I want to thank some people. You know what? Can you overthink people? I don't think so, right? Especially, people, they give you that sense of hospitality and that sense of experience that maybe you never encountered before. So I'm just going to start off by saying thank you again for Visit Pasadena, specifically Debbie Vale there at Visit Pasadena, as well as Jennifer Mayer, okay? I want to thank those two for inviting me to the UCLA football game last week. I thought that last weekend, that was great. I got to see not just going to the game, right? But hold on one second. Yeah, there we go. Not just going to the game, but enjoying the game in a suite with refreshments and non-meat eats, and that always gets me. Anyone that remembers that I don't eat meat and actually order something for me. Those are things that resonate with me. Those are things I'll never forget because not everybody does it, right? So, no, I do appreciate that. Thank you guys so much. So Debbie Vale, Jennifer Mayer with Visit Pasadena. And then this was like a surprise that I didn't know that was going to happen, right? So, to her, it may not have been a surprise, but to me it was. Okay, Carolee Adams, right? Okay, she's a sales manager with Visit, what am I trying to say? Visit Pasadena, okay? So I used to work with her. Okay, so anyway, she works there, but she works remote. She works out of the Sacramento. She works probably out of her home in Sacramento, but she represents the Northern California market, right, for Visit Pasadena. Okay, well, go back back in the 90s, 91 through 95, I used to work with Carolee, okay? I worked with her at the, it was then the Sheraton in Rancho Cordova, which is now the Marriott in Rancho Cordova, just for the people that are keeping score. So it was good to see her. So she had been with the Bureau for about a year. And I knew that she was there because I saw the postings on LinkedIn, of course. That's where I get all my news from. But, all the hospitality people moving around, that's where I get the updates. But I hadn't seen her and I had not spoken to her. So I haven't seen her probably, 10 years. So I'm just going to say that. But it was great to see her, catch up with her. She has 2 kids. I remember the 2 kids when I remember the Casey is her daughter. I remember when she was born and all that. It was just good to see her. Okay, so once again, thank you so much to visit Pasadena. Okay, so one thing that I do, and I did not mention this when I first started. First of all, Lonnie Wolf is in the house. Thank you so much, Lonnie Wolf. And I encourage people to make comments. Okay, during the show, I encourage them. I encourage the engagement. I encourage the comments and things like that. And I'm going to read the comments, right? So if I stop and say, hey, Lonnie Wolf, Lonnie Wolf has sent me basically a comment, right? So you can feel free to do that as well. In the comment or chat box, just go ahead and do it. But Lonnie Wolf says he's in the house. Happy Tuesday, Russell of Hotels. Thank you so much, Lonnie. I appreciate it. Lonnie's out there in Florida, so hopefully you're doing well out there in Florida. And maybe you missed, or the storm missed you. Hopefully it did, and I'm sure it did because you're able to come on and all that stuff. But prayers to everyone in Florida. I actually have some family and good friends that live there. Other than Lonnie. In fact, 2 Victors live out there. 2 Victors and a Nikki. Okay, so, but they have all told me that they're doing well, everything's okay. A couple of them had to evacuate their homes, and hopefully they didn't go home to, some issues. I'm not sure with one of them, but I'll probably find out later this week. But my friend Victor, who lives, I think he's in Orlando, I saw him boarding up windows and things like that. Well, no, let me back up. I didn't see him boarding up windows. I saw his wife boarding up windows. I don't know how you got that happen, but hey, but Kenya, you go, girl. That's all I'm gonna say. So that's his wife. So Victor was pretending to be on a conference call or something like that, and Kenya's out there with a saw, a circular saw, out there working and cutting the plywood to fit for the windows. I was like, wow, that's something. What a woman. That's all I can say. But anyway, so Lonnie says, can never overthink. As a former GM, I had zero turnover in 7 years in housekeeping department. The heart of the house. I thank my team upon arrival, and at the end of the day, consistently 365. Thank you so much for that. A LinkedIn user, and I don't know who that LinkedIn user is. I think I may have to look over here to see who the LinkedIn user is. Let's see if I can see. Sherry Mazin. Hi, Russell. I love to talk about our new hospitality exam. Let's see this. I love to talk about our new hospitality exam. Let me know if that's possible. Anything's possible, Sherry. Is that wait, Sam? Is that's Sam, right? Am I right now? Because I got these new glasses. And still, yeah, that's Sam. I can see the picture. Okay, Sam, let's call me. Let's talk. Let's talk about it. So yeah, so that's what it's all about. See, that's what this is all about. So if you have questions, if you want to talk about something, I mean, some of the stuff can be offline. We don't have to talk about everything here because I do have a format here I need to get through, right? But no, I'm okay with reading the comments and stuff like that. So I do thank you so much, Miss Sherry, that we know as Sam. Okay, isn't that funny? Some people know, their real name, their government name is Sherry, right? But we knew her as Sam. Okay, but anyway, okay. So what is it? All good in South Florida. My thoughts and prayers for all the West Coast. Yes, yeah. Well, what's going on here? But anyway. But anyway, let's see. Where am I? We're show number 178. Okay, did you know that? 178 is great. So we're show number 178. I'm always thinking about, when I started this whole show, and it just kind of takes me back to, the last couple of years ago, right? So, I mean, real quick, when I first started this show, it was back in not October. January, like 29th or somewhere around there, of 90. What am I saying? 90. 2019. Okay, is when I started the show. Okay, so I started the show, and I remember after I started the show, I think I recorded or copied or forwarded over some the copy of the show to my dad, right? So he was looking at it and he said, you know what? it really shows your personality. He said, you do a good job on there. It really shows your personality. And I, of course I thanked him for that. And I appreciate that, right? Because, you're always hesitant to do stuff, something new, whatever. Well, and for him to say that, I thought that was cool, right? So, I mean, and I said that to say this, my dad passed away back in 2019. Okay, so it was his third year anniversary was on Sunday that he passed away, right? So I dedicate all my shows to him. I don't mention this all the time, but I dedicate all my shows to him because he saw something maybe I didn't see. He saw that this is a way to get out your personality, so people can see you for who you are, not this manager that's hiding behind all these rules and regulations, right? So I get out and say not everything that I want to say, because just because you can say it doesn't mean you should say it, right? So I appreciate him when he said that, and I appreciate him to this day. And 178 shows later, I know he's proud. Wherever, he's looking down, I know he's proud. So I was about to say wherever he is. No, I know where he is. Okay, so so he's looking down saying, you know what, hey, keep it up. So no, I appreciate that, Dad. I appreciate that. So, but yeah, show number 178. So let me just move forward from that. Industry stuff. So I mentioned the Hurricane Ian, and thoughts and prayers going out to everybody there, including my man Lonnie. I appreciate that. Let me know that you guys are okay. A new business has formed, right? So a cousin of mine named Kevin, and he sent out this thing on LinkedIn. I saw the notice he sent on LinkedIn, and he's starting his a resume and career preparation business. Okay, it's called Busy Chilling LLC, and that's Busy Chilling, CHILLING. So it's busychilling.com. So if you resume and career preparation, so that's what he's doing. Now he's a retired military guy. He was 20 years in the military, 20 years or so, almost 20 years, I think, in LASIK eye surgery. He was a tech for a bunch of LASIK eye surgeons and all that stuff. So he learned all the latest and greatest. Being in the Navy or being in the service, you get exposed to a lot of things that people in the public sector, I guess, they don't get access to, right? So he's so light years ahead of the technology and things like that, especially when it comes to eye surgery. So, and then he retired from that just recently, and he was always good on, doing resume building and helping people out. So he said, I'm going to take this passion for what I know and now apply this and help people out. So he started this Busy Chilling, because that's what he always does. If he's not chilling at home and wherever he lives in San Diego, he's traveling somewhere, busy chilling. Okay, so that's he came up with that. In fact, his license plate is Busy Chilling or something like that, but it's abbreviated, of course. But yeah, so when I saw this, I said, what, I got to mention this. So there you go. If you need resume and career preparation, I've already referred him to one person already. And in fact, I know they're in the middle of doing that right now. So, there's questions and things you need to ask. What are you trying to do? Where you come from and where you're going? And he makes sure that the resume is completed or prepared in a way that it picks up, because a lot of resumes, it's all about, what am I trying to say? Technology. How can you reach certain people? Because there's algorithms, when you post things and they're looking for certain words, there's a keyword search. So there's keywords that these algorithms look for. So he assists with that too. So there you go. Okay. So busychilling.com. And that's Kevin. And just tell him cousin Russell sent me. So, okay. Someone, hey, Craig, how are you? And long time no here. We got to talk soon. We got to do a live soon. Super props to cousin Kevin. The name is dope. Well done. Yes. Thank you so much, Brother Lonnie. I do appreciate that. Real quick, I'm not sure how many people, I do a live every day, Monday through Friday. So the live supports this show. The show is only once a week, right? But the lives I do every 5 days a week, like Monday through Friday, between the hours of 9 and noon here in California, right? And it's live I only do it on Instagram. Okay, so we talk about, it's hospitality things just like we talk about here, but I get people to come on and we talk and we, spend 5-10 minutes, or it can be upwards of an hour sometimes. So I did two of these things last week. And one specifically, I did one with this young lady by the name of Kelly.Kawa, Kowa. That's her Instagram handle. So follow her, right? So she's in Europe. She's actually in Nuremberg, Germany. Okay. So she found me on doing another show called What the Hell, okay, with Cheryl, right? Cheryl Rogers, if you guys know. So she saw us on What the Hell and thought this was just the most dynamic thing. And, I'm out there taking a risk and putting myself out there. So she said, she's a hospitality person too, right? So she reached out to me, slid into my DMs, okay, and she said, hey, let's do something about trends that are going on here versus there in Europe, right? So I'm in LA, she's in Nuremberg, Germany, right, which is South Germany, right? So we talked last Thursday, right? So we did a live, about an hour live on Thursday, and we talked about, different trends that are going on. And two things that stuck out. I'm not going to go through in the entire thing, of course, right, because it was a whole hour, but two things that are going on here that are going on there as well, right? So one is the labor shortage. Okay, I thought that was something that was just here, right? We just don't want to go to work, okay? But no, it's not the case. They don't want to go to work there either. But I don't know if they're giving away stimulus checks, right? I didn't ask that. I forgot that. Did they give away stimulus checks out there in Germany too? I'm not sure. I really didn't ask, and I'm going to have to ask that question next time I have a conversation with her. But one of the key things that are happening, we're having a shortage of employees, or employees don't want to go back. They're not going back to work yet. And they're having the same shortages there in Germany or throughout Europe, okay, not just Germany, but throughout Europe. So I thought that was interesting. And the other thing that I thought was interesting as well is that the whole housekeeping thing, right? So what I mean by the housekeeping thing is that when you check into a hotel these days, normally they don't clean your room until you check out. So if I'm there for 3 days, they're not going to clean my room until I check out. They'll clean the room for the next person, right? Back in the day, BC, that means before COVID, they would come in and make up your bed, change your linen, make up your bed, all this kind of stuff. And, you came back from your, wherever you were during the day, everything would be clean, right? Okay, well, they're not doing that anymore, right? So what they're doing now, they're doing a modified cleaning, which, okay, now I'll tell you what the modified is. First and foremost, when you check in, they should let you know this is going on, right? And I've stayed, since this whole thing happened, let's say I stayed in 4 or 5 different hotels, right? Only one told me that, this is what's happening. So you have an option to have your room clean every day, or just wait until, you check out, which was 3 days from now. Okay. But when you say, okay, I'm going to opt in for them to clean it, this is what they do. They do, I want to say it's 4 things. They'll empty the trash in your wastebasket. They will replenish any amenities like soap or shampoo. They will vacuum the floor, and they will exchange any linen, like not linen, but towels only. Okay, so they won't touch your bed at all. They won't make the bed or anything, right? So it's the same thing that's going on in Europe. They're doing the same thing, right? So you think that we're so isolated, or we're the ones that, or maybe we are the ones that setting the trends, right? Maybe they're following us. I don't know. But I just thought that was interesting that, 2 of the main things that are going on here, one is the employee retention, and 2 is the lack of cleaning hotel rooms is also going on there too. So those are 2 things that are consistent. And one thing that I mentioned to her, I said, I can foresee that in the near future, and I said, this is just Russell of Hotels saying this, but just looking at the trends and how things are going, they're going to be charging you, moving forward, they're going to start charging you if you want your room clean every day. Okay. Meaning if your bedding change and all that, yeah, they'll do it, but it's going to come at a cost. Okay. So remember, you heard that here. I'm sure people have heard it other places. Some people are fighting against it or whatever, but I guarantee you that's going to be the next major thing in hotels, where if you want your room clean, they will do it, but they will do it at a cost. Okay. Now your luxury hotels, of course, you're already paying a higher rate. So they're still doing those things for the most part. But I'm just saying it's a sign of things to come. Lonnie says should be posted on the website to include all OTAs avoiding unnecessary conflicts and or posting a bad review. Yes, it should be, but I'm not sure if it is. But check your website and see, if you're booking. Of course, you book direct, through the hotel's website. Make sure you do that, but make sure you check to see what their policies and procedures are or protocols for cleaning your room. Okay, because most hotels that I've been in, and it doesn't matter the brand, okay, they're doing a modified cleaning. Okay, and they should be telling you this at check-in. Okay, they should be giving you the option. Do you want them to even do that modified clean, or you just don't want to? Don't even worry about my room. Okay, you can clean it in 3 days. Okay, when I'm out of here. So just follow up with that, and no matter if you're here or you're traveling to Europe, make sure you do it, because it's the same thing that's going on here, the same thing that's going on there. And there's another thing that I mentioned to her, and we were talking about, because a lot of the food and beverage operations in hotels have not reopened, and if they have, it's basically kind of a grab and go situation where you can microwave food. And I mentioned that M word to Kelly, and she just like froze. She was like, "Oh my God, what are you saying? You said microwave food." I said, "Well, yeah, it's frozen food that they microwave or whatever." And she was just like, she's like, "I can't believe that," because she's like all about the experience. Europeans, they're all about the experience. I want to drink my wine. I want you to pour it. I want you to explain it before you pour it. I want you to explain the food. It's a whole experience, right? Well, I'm all about an experience too, but I'm all about a hotel trying to make some money too, right? So things are changing. The landscape here is changing with food and beverage. So some restaurants are reopening in hotels, and some of them still haven't, because they haven't got any guidance yet on how they're going to reopen them. But one thing for sure, if you see a lot of your select service hotels, your Courtyards, your Residence Inns, your Hilton Garden Inns, Homewood Suites, et cetera, they have the markets in their hotels now. Or if they don't have them yet, they'll soon be coming, because that market which is right next to the front desk, and you can charge at the front desk or do a room charge and all that stuff. You get your snacks, you get your beer, wine, all kind of snacks, so sandwiches, whatever. Those things are big now, right? So you can grab and go whatever. Those are huge profit centers for hotels. So it's a difference between, okay, well, the guest wants the experience. Yeah, you have the experience, but if you don't have people to serve those people, getting back to the whole lack of employees, well, what are you going to do? So, and listen to your customer. And one thing that Kelly said that resonated, right? Listen to what your customer is telling you. Is your customer telling you that they want to grab and go? Well, if that's what they're telling you, then that's what they want, right? Because if you don't listen to them, you're not going to have anything, right? So the customer's not saying, I want, that dining experience. No, they want the ones here in the U.S., especially after COVID. I want a touchless experience, right? I don't want a lot of contact with a lot of people anymore, okay? I want to grab my stuff and go to my room, or I want to come down here and pick it up, or you can drop it outside my door, whatever it is, or I want Uber Eats because I want options. Thus, that's what the customer is saying. If the customer was not saying that, you think Uber Eats and Postmates and all those would be popping up? No, those are popping up because people have a need for it, right? And yeah, maybe it came because of the pandemic, okay, but now we're listening to it, right? So some hotels probably will never open fully their food and beverage operation like it used to be, okay? And I always said this. I said hospitality or hotels are going to look totally different in a couple years, and this is one of them, right? You got the technology, you got the QR codes that have been around for about 5 to 7 years, and now people think that's a new thing. Oh, they went to this restaurant and you look at the menu with your phone. You just have to, do the camera function and it pops up on your phone. That's been around for about 7 years. Okay, it's just that now, because there's a need for it, i.e. COVID, Now people are, oh, I guess a new thing. No, it ain't new. It's been around. So, but anyway, I can go on and on and on about that. So I just wanted to, a quick shout out to Kelly. Thank you so much for the global collaboration. Okay, because social media has just, bridged that gap between, our country and Europe. Okay, so you can talk to anybody any time of day, all over the world. Okay, you can collaborate with them. You do whatever. You make money. So the possibilities are endless. Okay, so it's all about the collab. Okay, so just remember that it's all about the global collaboration. Okay, and then there's the other thing before I move on. There's this young lady. Now, I didn't talk to her other than I think we send messages back and forth. Her company is called Sharifa. Sharifa.studio. Okay, I can't remember what her first name is, but that's not even important. Okay, but what she said, her content that she created is important. So I'm gonna read it to you, right? And you tell me what you think. No, you ain't tell me what you think. Lonnie says, be upfront prior to arrival. Always be constructive within. No housekeeping, elimination, free breakfast, etc. The guests don't need to be surprised upon. Exactly. They don't need to be surprised upon arrival. So make sure it's everything's on your website, right? Because a lot of times that's where guests go. They go to the website for information. And it has to be consistent with real life, okay? So if it hasn't been updated, make sure you go and update your website and say, okay, these are the things that we're doing currently, okay? Because you don't want people to check in and like, yeah, when is your breakfast served? Breakfast? We don't serve breakfast anymore. We haven't done that since the pandemic. Well, on your website, it says it's served in the whatever room, but it didn't give a time. Well, now there's some inconsistencies there. And if you want to piss off a guest, there you go. Okay, you just did it, all right? And they never come back. So you want to make sure that things are consistent. So whatever is factual, all the meetings that we have, that don't book any business, all those meetings that we have, who say they're operational meetings, make sure one of those topics that you bring up is, hey, have we updated our website? Does it coincide with reality? Okay. That's one thing. We do all these meetings, and I'm going off on the meetings right now, right? Because I had a conversation with somebody earlier about meetings, and I always ask. It was a salesperson, right? So I said, "Hey, how much business?" She goes, "Oh, I got to go into a meeting right now," and it was between the hours of 9 and 4, which is prime selling time. Okay, you guys remember that term? I'm sure you guys still use it, right? So it's between those hours, right? I said, "Well, how much business are you booking out of that in that meeting?" She goes, what are you talking about? And then she, got to get snippy with it. What are you talking about? How much business? I said, well, I just want to know, you're having this meeting during the day. How much business? Have you ever booked a piece of business in one of those meetings? She goes, well, no. I said, well, then why the hell are you having these during this time of day? And she just stopped and, you know what? I never even thought about it like that. Well, think about it, okay? Because salespeople don't need to be pulled in meetings all the time during prime selling time. Prime selling time is 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., okay? At least that's what it used to be, right? So you should be selling. You should be doing something, trying to get a client in or working on something that's client related, okay? That's a contract. If that's, your contact, you're emailing, you're having breakfast, your lunch, dinner, whatever it is, that happens between 9 and 4. Now, if there's meetings, have them before 9 or after 4, okay? So, and I'm speaking for the salespeople now. Operations people, you guys can do whatever you want to do. But because salespeople are held to a higher standard, right? Because they're held to higher goals too, right? So remember that. So if I'm responsible for these goals, but I constantly get pulled into meetings that have nothing to do with me booking business, I got issues with that. So boom, there you go. I know a lot of salespeople have been wanting to say that, but now I said it for you. So just rewind this and have people listen to it. As you can tell, I'm on one today. So what was I talking about now? Okay, so Sharifa.studio. This is her handle on Instagram. Okay, she's a content creator for hotels in Paris. Okay, so Paris, France. Okay, so I just happened to I was on a live, I was doing a live, and she came on, right? So I saw, and she was making some comments, and then later on, I got some more information about her. Well, I did some research and found some information, and she has some interesting things in there, right? So I learned some stuff from her, right? So one thing is about doing smaller videos, meaning smaller meaning in time, right? So reduce some of the reels that I was doing. Instead of having like a minute reel, you can condense it to like 20-second reels, right? Because people's attention span is so short that why would you want to do a minute video when people probably the average attention span is 20 seconds? So I saw that and I'm like, that is dope. Okay, so I started doing the same things, all because of this girl, right? That I connected with in Paris, France. Okay, so she was on one of my lives, and I said, "Can people tell me where they're located?" And she said, "Paris, France." I'm always about trying to be global, right? So when I saw that, I was like, Russell of Hotels going global again. Okay, so there you go. But anyway, I'm gonna read this thing that she said. Okay, let me just move my mic so I can see what I'm looking, so I can see what I'm reading. Hotels don't need marketing. Okay, that was the subject or the topic of it. Hotels don't need marketing. So that got my attention. I was like, where's she going with this? It said, once I told a friend that I want to help hoteliers with content strategy. He replied, hotels don't need that. People just book a room and leave. That's it. If they don't need that, it means they don't need important things. Now, these important things are to expand the brand awareness, to get more bookings, stand out from the competition, or build a genuine relationship with your clients. Content strategy is a bridge between your hotel brand and your ideal guest. Make sure you have a solid one. I thought that was the most profound thing I have read, and it's saying everything that I've been saying it, but it put it in words, right? I mean, sometimes I'm not able to express myself like I should, but that expressed my true feelings about this whole social media and how hotels don't think that this type of marketing is for them, right? It's not always about getting them there. It's about keeping them there, okay? And this is how you keep them there. You create content to get them engaged, to make them want to come back and stay there. That's the thing, right? Because it's so expensive, or it takes a lot of time, a lot of hours to get people that you've lost, right? To get the business that you've lost, and you could lose them for a myriad of reasons. Maybe they went to the competition. Maybe they got ticked off at something at your hotel. But you don't know that until you kind of reach out to people, right? So, but with social media, you can reach people, you can entertain them, you can do whatever from your hotel, right? Meaning it's the hotel that's posting things, right? So it's about keeping the guests, okay? So yes, you do need to once that business is booked, right? You need to expand your brand awareness. We need people to know that your brand, be aware of your brand, what your brand stands for. You need to get more bookings. What hotel doesn't need to get more bookings? Please tell me, raise your hands or whatever, wave them in your air like you just don't care. Which ones don't need more bookings? Okay? And then stand out from your competition. We all have a comp set, right? For people that don't know what I'm talking about, every hotel has, I think it's up to 7 hotels or something like that in your competitive set. We call it a comp set, right? So it's hotels that compete with you. It's hotels that are in similar size. They do similar business that you do. Okay, it's not just any random hotel. It's the ones that similar size that do the same, maybe the same market segments that you do. They all do corporate group or transient group or some leisure on the weekends or whatever the heck it may be, right? But it's similar hotels, similar size that do similar business. Okay, those are in your comp set, and those are ones that you're graded against. So there's this report called the STAR report, STR, which stands for Smith Travel Research. It gives you all this information about occupancy, ADR, and RevPAR, revenue per available room. That's basically how much you make for each room that's there, right? That's per day. That's what you make. So a room is a commodity, right? So if you don't use that room, if you don't use it that day, you lose it. You lose any potential revenue you can make from there. Okay. So you need to, in order to do that, in order to stay above your competition, your comp set is to expand the brand awareness, to get more bookings, to stand up from the competition, and to build a genuine relationship with your clients. Okay, so whatever that means for hotels that happen to be watching, right? So if that's the group sales manager, taking care of their whatever the groups that are coming in, or the convention services person, or whatever, or that person that's in charge of business transient sales. That's business transient is just basically one person coming in with a company, or a business, but it's just one. It's not a group. A group is 10 rooms or more, right? So every person is responsible for a different market segment, okay, or a different geographical location that has these segments in there. So however your hotel does their business, whatever you do. But these are things you need to make sure your guests know that you want them to come back, okay? Because it's not about, like I said, we want to get the business in there. Yeah, that's important too. But I think the most important thing is, if you're going to compare the two, is keeping those guests there. Don't let them go anywhere else. Don't lose them to the competition, okay? Because every hotel is out there, but the difference is you. That's the only thing that's different, is you and how you reach those people. You care about those people. If you don't, then you're not going to do anything. If you care about them and you're looking for ways to do it, well, you need to, 1, expand your brand awareness. 2, get more bookings. 3, stand up from the competition. 4, build relationships, genuine relationships. That's it, right? So when she put that out there, I was like, I'm following this girl forever, because she got some information from me. Now, remember I said this stuff that she said, okay? So I'm always going to give people credit where credit is due. So thank you so much. I don't remember her first name, but it's Sharifa Studio in Paris, France. So thank you so much, Sharifa Studio. I can make a song with that. Sharifa Studio. But anyway, no, but thank you so much. I appreciate that. So now, that was just industry stuff. And I didn't even get to it. I didn't even click on it yet. What time is it? 1:30. Okay, all right. Now we move forward. Be intentional, make decisions, and take action on what's important to you. Number 2, be you. And number 3, be represented, because my representation matters. I talk about this every week, that it's important that people that look like me do shows like this, or work in hotels and all this kind of stuff. So it's just important to me, right? So that I'm represented. Okay, so I'm intentional about that, right? So I may have started this, this podcast or this hospitality talk show for some other reason, but it's starting to morph into something else, because it's important that people have a voice, right? People show what they're doing, or let people know what they're doing, right? And let other people know that are coming behind that, I can do that too. If that Russell of hotels can do this, I can do it too. You're absolutely right. I don't hold the golden grail for freaking live hospitality talk shows, but I'm okay with other people coming into the space, okay? Because everyone has a different voice. Everyone has a different network, okay? So please, there's over a million podcasts or talk shows out there, okay? Over a million. But the average length of a podcast, let's just say podcast, it's just to keep it simple, is 6 episodes, okay? That's it. So you see there's a million or so out there, but not all of them are active, because people get frustrated. They get ticked off. No one's listening to me. Or, maybe they got into it for different reasons. I don't know. But 6 episodes is the average, okay? So there you go. I've done 100 and what is it? I can't remember now. 178. And that's not being it's not boasting or bragging. Those are facts, right? I've done 178 and the average is 6. Okay? And what I'm saying is, be intentional, be you, be represented, because my representation matters. It matters that I do this. It matters that I show up, right? That's the thing about social media. You got to show up, right? You have to. If you say you're gonna do it, you need to do it. Okay, that's the same. And the same thing in real life. If you say you're gonna do something, do it. It's the same thing. So however you are in real life, I mean, away from this, social media or podcast, that's the same way you should be. You should be the same person. And hopefully I am. And just remember this. This is the most important thing. Everybody ain't going to like what you do. Everybody's not going to like the content that you put out or that you create or on air with Russell of Hotels or the music that I play or what I talk about or that I laugh or whatever. People are not going to like you. They don't like in real life, or not real life, but in everyday life, people don't like everything that you do either, right? Just like you don't like everything that everyone else does. That's okay. Just be you, be consistent, be intentional, be you, and be represented. Boom. I'm just on fire, fire. You guys remember that song? Tell me who sang that song. Okay, I'll give you a t-shirt. Miss Davon Reeves, How to Buy a Hotel. Check this out. Just Google Davon Reeves, and you'll find how to buy the book. But I'm pretty sure you can buy it on Amazon. So people always ask, well, how do you buy a hotel? Back in the day, a couple of years back, people were always asking me, hey, I've been wanting to buy a hotel. How do you find hotels? How do you do this? And I couldn't tell them anything. I can make up stuff. I can refer them to people that I thought knew, and those people didn't even know. I just thought they knew, right? Well, now there's a comprehensive book out there that people, and it's funny, now that I have this book by Miss Davon Reeves, the same people that I talked to about buying a hotel, they don't even want to talk anymore. Now all of a sudden, they don't want to talk. When I come up with this book that basically highlights every single thing in the journey to buying a hotel. Miss Davon Reeves has come up with it. It's there. I got a copy of it somewhere, but you see it right there. That's my copy. So, but 3 things that she always talks about, tips to buying a hotel: location, 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 because you don't want to just anywhere. Number 2, the brand is important. It's a brand. You have to know the brand, right? You got to be familiar with the brand. You don't just buy I'm gonna build the Russell Hotel. Well, people don't know the Russell Hotel, all right? But if it's the Russell Hotel by Hilton, then, okay, it's a reputable company now, right? Because it's name recognition. Okay, so just remember that. But you can make your own hotel. It's going to be a lot harder. Not saying that owning a hotel is not hard anyway. But if you don't have a reputable brand where people can gravitate towards and say, have an experience in their head on, oh, I stayed at Hilton before. Oh, I stayed at a Marriott before. Okay, but I never stayed at the Russell Hotel. Who are they affiliated with? Nobody. Oh, well, I mean, it's just a little bit harder, but people have done it, of course. I mean, a lot of people have done it. So don't say it's not impossible, but if you're starting off, I would start off with a name hotel. Okay, that's just me. And location makes a big difference, and hiring the right operator makes a big difference. Do you want to work the hotel yourself? You want to, sleep behind the front desk? I mean, people do that. So it just depends on, how big your hotel is going to be. I would go with a select service hotel or an economy hotel, because those are hotels more than likely most people can't afford to buy. Now, if you talk about the same ones that you stay in, I stay in the Hyatt Regency at the LAX. Oh, I want to buy that hotel. Well, yeah, if you got $100 million, you can. So, but $100 million versus a select service hotel or limited service hotel, say at $3.5 to $5 million. I mean, that's a big difference, right? And the flow through, meaning the profit potential is a lot greater in that smaller hotel than it is in a larger hotel. Just so you know. And I guarantee you, the people that have, yes, definitely Ohio players, yes. I guess I didn't even look at the comment. I forgot that I even asked that question, right? The question I asked, I was singing a song, what was it, 5 years or something. And I said, who sings that song? I said, anyone that can tell me who sang the song, I'll give them a t-shirt. And Stephanie said Ohio players, and she's absolutely right. So I guess I gotta get her a t-shirt. So, but anyway, if you're interested in buying a hotel or just learning how to buy a hotel, you don't have to do it, but just the steps involved. Miss Davon Reeves, How to Buy a Hotel, Amazon. Just Google her name. Google her name. Who's your best brand advocate? You are. I'm not even going to throw that out as a question because I'll be giving away another T-shirt. But who is your best brand advocate? You are. So if you're not excited about your brand, no one else will be. Okay. So that's one thing that I learned early in the game, that you got to be excited about what you do, right? Because if you're not, no one else will be. Okay. So whatever that is, if I'm collecting bottles and cans, I need to be as enthusiastic as I can, because you want other people to give you bottles and cans. The more bottles and cans people give you, the less you got to find on your own, right? So, but you got to be excited about it. So whatever you do, whatever that is, whatever that looks like, be excited about what you do, and that it becomes contagious. Okay. So I'm excited I was so excited that every Tuesday that I do this show, that I started doing lives, because I was so excited about this. I said, well, I only do this once a week, and I'm so excited, during that week that, after it's over, I'm excited waiting for Tuesday to come around. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to start doing lives, okay, because of the excitement, because I love talking about hospitality. I love talking to people about hospitality and what I do. So I'm my best brand advocate. Yes, that's why I do the lives. That's why I do the posting. Well, postings for me, the postings for someone else, because, that's what they need, and, they pay me to do it. So there you go. So be your best brand advocate. No one's going to know what you do unless you tell them, right? And isn't this a good avenue or vehicle or medium to tell people? I think so. I mean, back in the day when we first started, and when I first started in hotels, I'd have killed for something like this, especially when you first got into sales, right? I would kill for this. I would tell people every single day what I was doing. Hey, this is my day today. It'd be a day in the life of Russell, the sales manager, okay, or Russell, the director of sales and marketing. I would highlight the things that I was doing today. Now I got to go to this meeting. It's between the hours of prime selling time, 9 and 4 o'clock. I never booked any business in an ops meeting before, but maybe today would be the first day. I would be so creative, and people would be following it. So I'm giving people game right now. I'm giving people advice on how to do this, right? If I was a sales manager today, I would utilize all these different platforms and talk about what I do and my daily journey. Okay, Russell in this hotel. I mean, how do you guys hear me? Are you understand what I'm saying? I don't think you guys get it. I'm getting crickets out here. I mean, I don't hear anybody say anything. But that's what I will be using this tool for, okay? And if you need help with that, your resource, I'll do it for you, okay? I'll be so excited for you. I'll be your best brand advocate. How you like that? Woo, boy, I'm on fire. Once again, I'm on fire. So this is my quote for today. I posted content today for a brand, but it's actually for tomorrow. What does that mean? It means that just because you posted today, you post some content today, doesn't mean automatically you're going to start getting business from it. Because that's what people think, right? I get it. Thanks, Lonnie. See, it's always good to have a hype man out there. So Lonnie's my hype man. And Lonnie's gonna be on the show in a couple of weeks. Just let me just let me just let people know that Tuesday, October 18th, Lonnie Wolf is gonna be on the show. So make sure you guys are in the house, because Lonnie's gonna bring it. We're gonna talk about housekeeping. We're gonna talk about service. We're gonna talk about the stuff he's been dealing with since maybe the last several months. Okay. So yeah, it's gonna be fire. Okay, he's gonna bring it. I'm just gonna give him the mic. He's just gonna talk, right? I'm not gonna even have to ask any questions, because he's gonna be wound up so much about it. So, but anyway, getting back to the quote, I posted content today for a brand, but it's actually for tomorrow. Meaning, just because you posted today does not mean everyone's gonna see it. Okay, you have to continue to post. You got to be consistent, right? So it's not about just that one posting. It's about consistency in anything that you do. Okay, so just remember that. It always goes back to a GM of mine when I was a director of sales and marketing, and I was trying to introduce social media to this hotel, and When you don't get it, when you don't understand it, you come up with anything just to try to make yourself look good, right? I ain't talking about me. I'm talking about him, right? Well, when are you gonna get business from this? I'm like, huh? What? What? So I'm trying to explain, how it works. Well, that's just a waste of time. You know what I mean? I said, okay, all right. I could see that there was obviously a difference of opinion and one not wanting to learn, just going, because, my his 30 years of experience was greater than mine. He knew more than I did, especially when it came to marketing. And never been a marketer before, never been in sales before, but he knew more than I did. So, sometimes you just gotta, you gotta take it or you gotta take your show on the road. So it just depends on where you are in your career and all that stuff. But I could see the writing was on the wall. But this is the thing: there's still a lot of GMs out there that still don't understand it. Okay, so and that's why a lot of hotels and tourism bureaus or whatever, they have not fully embraced, and I'll say it, they have not fully embraced social media. Okay, I'll say this again, I posted content today for a brand, but it's actually for tomorrow. Meaning, the more you post, is going to go for the future, right? You're working on future stuff. You're not working on stuff that's coming today. You're working for things in the future. You're creating your brand awareness. It goes back to what my girl said, right? It creates that brand awareness. It's you're over your competition. I can't remember exactly everything she said, but let me see. Hold on. Okay, it's you create more brand awareness, you get more bookings in the future, and you stand out from your competition, and you build a genuine relationship with your clients. Okay, that's the reason for doing it. Okay, it's not for the here and now; it's for the future. Okay, so just remember, you remember a time. Okay. How do you increase social media engagement? See, this all ties in. Consistency. It's not just one time, it's consistency. Consistently. Value. Make sure there's value for someone. Whatever that is, make sure you're resonating with your clients or the people that follow you. And be authentic. Be you. Don't try to be something else. Don't try to be another hotel. Be the hotel that you are. So if you're a three-diamond hotel, be the best three-diamond hotel that you can be. Don't try to compete with, the luxury hotel that's down the street from you, because that's not you. And that's not even your market segment. Okay. The same people that are staying there are not staying with you. Okay. So know your identity and know what you bring to that market, not what they bring. It ain't about them. It's about you. Lonnie says, so round up. A lot to discuss. The show 180 will be so fire. We could draw an audience the size of an arena. Okay. Russell Hotels is the real deal for those new on the live podcast. I appreciate that. Didn't I say he was my hype man? So thank you so much, Lonnie. I appreciate that. And I'm so looking forward to us being on that show together soon. Okay. So there you go. So yeah, so consistency, value, and be authentic. And once you know those things, what are some tools that you use, Russell? Can you tell us those? Of course I can. These are tools that I use, and I use these consistently. I use Reels and I do lives. Okay, Reels are through Instagram, but remember this: you call it repurpose your content. So if you do Reels on live, you can take that same content and put it on other platforms. Just copy and paste it. Copy the link, paste it on LinkedIn, paste it on YouTube, paste it on Facebook. I mean, I do that Twitter. I do that day in and day out. Okay, so you can do those things, right? So you don't have to keep it on one platform. Use multiple platforms to get your message out there, because different people use different platforms. Okay, so the people, if I only use LinkedIn, if you post it on Instagram, I'm never going to see it, right? And vice versa. So just make sure you post, you spread the love, okay? Spread the love. So yeah, and I do lives, okay? So you guys know I talked about, I love doing this show so much. I said, you know what, I'm gonna start doing lives Monday through Friday between the hours of 9 and 12. And that's what I do. I've been doing it for about a month and a half consistently, every single day. Okay, because that's what it takes. It takes some work, right? It is hard work to do it. Some days I don't feel like doing it. No, that's a lie. I do feel like doing it. It's just a matter of when am I going to do it, and what time am I going to do it, right? But no, it's not a chore. I never say, oh God, I got to do this live. No, I look forward to it, right? Just like this show, I look forward to doing the show every single week. Okay, so next, who's hiring? I forgot that I even did this. Who's hiring? Need you a J? You gotta have a J-O-B. Okay, who's hiring? The Marriott Long Beach. I believe that's at the airport. I believe so. Yeah, Marriott. Well, I'm just gonna say Marriott Long Beach looking for a manager on duty. What is a manager on duty? The mod. That's a manager on duty, right? So, you have the general manager, you have other managers, but a manager on duty basically any issues, and it's normally like after hours. I'm gonna say I used to be a manager on duty, like that was my job, right? Later became the AGM, but I still kept my manager on duty hours and all that stuff. So I worked from like 1 to 11, 1 p.m. to 11 p.m., right? So any issues that come, you act as the general manager. Any issues that come, they come to you. So you help people check in, check out. Any problems, you're overseeing banquets, you're overseeing the kitchen. I oversaw every single aspect, just like the general manager would, but I was like more of a working GM, right? So the GM would never get in back and check people in and check people out. This is a larger hotel, right? So he would never do that. But, it was required that I did some things, right? If I needed to jump in, I would have to jump in and help. And we had a restaurant and a bar that serves food as well, right? So almost like two restaurants, right? So you would have to monitor that. So if they needed liquor and all that, they would have to requisition it, and I would have to be the one to go get it, right? Because we want to make sure everything stayed in control. So I would do all these different things. So that's what a manager on duty does, right? So the Marriott Long Beach is looking for a MOD. And then Hotel June, that's in LA. They're looking for a catering sales and event manager. And then UCLA, they're looking for an events manager, and that's in Westwood. Non-Meat Eats. I didn't talk about Non-Meat Eats last week. I couldn't think of the name of the company. Excuse me 1 second. I needed some water. My advice, you ever doing a podcast? Make sure you keep a bottle of water next to you, okay? Got to wet your beak every now and then. Non-Meat Eats. Okay, Atlas Monroe. Write this down. Atlas Monroe. If you're into non-meat eats like I am, Atlas Monroe is a company you need to know. So atlasmonroe.com, and that's Atlas as in, Charles Atlas, the world, ATLAS, Monroe, MONROE.com. Okay, so it's a woman-owned company. They make vegan food. That's it. And they don't have a restaurant. They ship it around the world. So they have a major plant or whatever in San Diego area. I want to say Chula Vista, if I'm not mistaken. So they make a lot of plant-based foods for plant-based restaurants throughout the United States, if not the world. I'm not sure, but I just order it online and they deliver it to my door. That's all I know. That's all I need to know, right? So they have chicken, they have lasagna, chicken lasagna. They have like pulled pork, barbecue pork. They have carnitas. They have all kind of stuff. It's like crazy, right? So check it out. Atlas Monroe. That's where I get my food from when I'm in the mood for that, for some of that kind of stuff. But I love the carnitas. Oh my God, they're so good. So check it out. Atlas Monroe. Contact information. Is that where I am? I'm almost done. Don't worry. Things that I do. Hospitality. I'm a hospitality personality. I'm a hospitality content creator, although I can help anyone create content. Okay, if you have questions, you can always reach out to me. And I do hotel site selection. So companies and organizations, they need assistance with finding, the right hotel for their meeting or their event or whatever. And remember, a group. These are groups, right? Group is 10 rooms or more. Okay, I've done groups from 10 to 650 on peak, right? So doesn't matter. I'm looking for that next 1,000 rooms a day group. That's what I'm looking for. So, but no, I can assist with anything. So that's what I do. So those are some of the things that I do. Hospitality personality. That I'm a personality here. This is what I'm doing, right? This is my personality showing up, and I'm in the hospitality space. So there you go. And then, like I said, content creator. You see a lot of the stuff that I do. I mean, this show is creating content. Okay. But follow me on Instagram and follow me on the other social media platforms, and you'll see the other content that I create. For me, you'll see that. But for other people, companies, organizations, you won't see that. You won't know that it's me because I don't. Of course, I don't put my name. My name is not attached to it, right? Because it's not about me. It's about the client. So, but I do hotels and tourism boards for the most part, and anyone else that needs some assistance with social media. Let's see. What are you doing to keep your brand relevant? I've mentioned a whole bunch of things that I do to keep my brand relevant, but you don't have to be doing all those things. You just have to be doing something. Okay, so just take some of the things that I do and see if you can duplicate some of the things, right? So because the important thing is to do something. If you're not doing anything, you're doing the most. Okay, that means you're not doing anything. Okay, do something. Okay, you may say, well, I don't know where to start. Well, starting and doing something is better than sitting around doing nothing. Well, there you go. And I always end with this. 3 things. This is Russell of Hotels, 3 P's. Purpose. Know why you do what you do. Okay. I know I do this because I want to talk about hospitality. I invite people to come on because I want them to discuss their journey in hospitality. Because no 2 people got in this industry alike. Okay, some people came through the front door, the back door. I came through the side door. Okay, but it doesn't matter. We're all here, right? We're all here, and we all add to this thing that we love called the hospitality industry. And that can be restaurants, that can be rental cars, that can be the airline, that can be tourism bureaus, that can be hotels. It doesn't matter. It can be catering company, whatever the heck it is. It's all hospitality. Okay, so we all feel the same pain. Okay, we all go through the same crap. All right, so that's why I do what I do. Passion. Either you have it or you don't. If you don't have a passion for it, you know what? Do something else. Okay, just stop it and knock it off and do something else. Perseverance. Be consistent. Continue to evolve. Don't give up. And swerve when you need to. If you see something coming, if you're going and you see something coming, swerve around it. You ain't got to go into it and then that way you got to start pivoting. No, go around it. Foresee what's going on. Just like I foresee that hotels are going to start charging for you for if you want your room clean, extra clean, and bed made up, they're going to start charging you for that, right? It hasn't come out yet, but I'm foreseeing that. So if you foresee that coming, what do? You got to swerve and do something else, or you got to try to make that situation different for you. If that's for you as a client, if I'm the customer, I need to do something different, right? If I'm the hotel, well, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? How am I going to present it to the client, right? Because they're going to be ticked off. So you got to make sure once you're in it, you got to swerve around it, not pivot, swerve. Okay, so there's a difference. So, but anyway, I think that's it. I think that's all I got for you today. But yeah, so not next week, but the week after, Mr. Lonnie Wolf is going to be on. That is October 18th. He's going to be here, and we're going to talk about housekeeping stuff, and it's going to be a fun show. I already know. Follow me on LinkedIn, IG, YouTube, Twitter, at Russell of Hotels. Russell at russellofhotels.com is my email. I'm easily accessible.
Thank you for joining.
So you guys have a great week.
With Russell of Hotels.
Thank you so much for joining.
Please tune
and we'll see you next week.
Tuesday
Peace.
at 1 p.m. as we talk to other hospitality professionals. Your feedback is important to Russell. Feel free to email him at russellofhotels.com with any questions or suggestions. Until next time, try not to be a person of success. Rather, become a person of great value.